it's not a comfortable topic, I would say.
I think social media changed that big time. Because social media gives that trend of we living the dream.
We've made the cut, we celebrated like we won.
A little bit different this morning, but we are in Arthur's backyard.
Office.
Arthur. Tell us a little bit of where we are today.
So we're at Compleat, the House Club. This is my little baby.
Yeah.
This is where I help Jacques and Heinrich for hours at a time. They've taken up a lot of hours of my time fitting.
This is the reason you guys are professionals today.
100%. He is the only reason for that, exactly that.
I'll give my percent of spies. So yeah, pretty cool to be here today. Super excited. I'm looking forward to the hole-in-one challenge. I think that's going to be great. Myself and Heini have already teamed up, so...
But I thought it was me and Heini.
No.
Okay, well, listen.
It's the youngsters. It's the youngsters versus the bullies.
Okay, that's what it is. That's what it is. We're going to show them something.
Okay.
Oh, we're going to teach them.
You know what? Firstly, it's not like you're giving me a partner.
He probably won't miss a green.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got one of the most beautiful swings on the tour. So I would be privileged today to mark up with him. But Arthur, I give you a lot of but I will say, in this studio, you help a lot of people. A lot of pros come to you here. I know over the years that I've dealt with you so many times that you've opened up your offices and said, come in, pull in.
100%. Well, just to point to these two guys, I do spend a lot of time, phone calls.
I was here Friday, I think.
I think the amount of times I've called him off, like after hours, I think both our phone accounts are kind of maxed out. I've always asked him questions about shafts, clubs, needed launch, needed spin, what about this, that, and he's always got some good input on it. And that's why TrueFit I think is such a good, I would say, commitment to tour golf, and not just tour golf, but also to the general public out there, and they know what they're doing.
I tell you, just before, because I know you're a very technical player as well. You know, you get quite in technical stuff.
Sometimes.
But let me do an intro for those that don't know who you guys are. And we always say to ourselves that everybody should know. But let me just say, so we've got Heinrich Bruiners here this morning. Heinrich turned pro in 2006. He is a...
Old man.
Yeah.
Long time, right?
So 33.
It's been a long time.
35. Old man. Yeah, I'm 41. What do you say about me?
You can see that beard. He's getting some greys in his beard.
You see some greys there coming.
The golden greys.
And Heinrich, you've had 305 Sunshine Tours events. Starts. You've had 15 top 10 finishes. You also won Origins of Golf in 2013. Am I right? And you also play on the Challenge Tour. Okay, so now your lowest round with us, 65. What an incredible day that was. Do you know when that was?
Sure, can't remember. I had so many 65s, I could never go. That's
when the hand comes up.
I go 700, and I'm like, but I've had a few where I was close, but I think I was 8 under after 12 holes once or something. And then I've shot 7 under. But the funny thing is, I think I shot 7 under at Swaziland. And then, it was at Swaziland. And then I actually went to the bathroom like 2 minutes before I had to tee off. But I said to the guys, listen here, I've got to go because it's a...
Emergency.
Yeah, it's not the short one. It's the extended pit stop.
a phone scrolling.
Then I went, obviously, and I went to the bathroom, and then the starter for some reason phoned on A.
You late.
And said like you weren't on the tee box. But I had a local caddy there from Swaziland. He just said like, yes boss, don't worry about it, I've got you covered. And then I went.
Did he hit the first tee shot then?
No, he was watching everyone else. But in any case, I shot 9 under that day.
With a 2-stroke penalty.
But Theo came to me after like the 3rd hole and he said, sorry.
Come
penalty.
on.
2-shot penalty.
Oh no.
So I remember that clearly, so I'm still on 7 under.
By default.
By default.
Yeah, but how do you know how to deal with that when that comes? Does it like upset you entirely?
Funny enough, I took it in the sense where I had to prove a point.
Okay, got you.
But I wish I could feel like that always.
Yeah, that's true.
But I felt like I want to prove to everyone, not just myself, but like I can still shoot a good score.
Even with the stroke penalty.
But,
no,
but Heinrich, before I get on to Jackie, just take us a little bit through your story and how you find yourself today, because there's a lot of inspiration in it. And I want to read a few quotes to you as well. But take us through your story and where this all started for you.
I was lucky that I was part of a development team at Vancouver, so I never was going to play golf. I think my biggest influence, big influencer, and that obviously played a massive role in me turning professional, was Dr. Hasso Plattner, the owner of SAP. And I don't know, he was very fond of me, and I think he believed in me so much. And so I was very lucky that I had someone I think he had so much resources, and I could literally do anything through him. So he obviously gave me the opportunity to start playing golf, because I was definitely not going to play golf. I was probably going to be a professional something, because I played lots of sports.
Even table tennis?
Yeah, I played like so much sports and stuff, so I was lucky. And then I think the reason why I took up golf was I always felt like I would never ever get to a point where I could master it. Because there's so much, people speaking about like what you got to perfect and stuff, but like in golf you got to be the best chipper, you got to be the best putter, you got to be the best driver of a golf ball. So like there's so much information that I think lots of guys are missing. But so I was lucky that he played a massive role in my life, and then I went on being part of a development team, Vancouver Foundation also, and then it merged with the Ernie Vancouver Foundation. But through that I had the opportunity to play, and then I think for me, when I was younger, I took a lot for granted, I think. So I was naturally quite gifted and I could play well, and then turned professional. My first 3-4 years on tour was varsity for me, so there was a lot of celebration when I made the cut. I wish I didn't do it, but because I never ever felt like I was going to do it for a living. It was like when I played, I always felt like this is by accident. So then I progressed and I got better and I learned a lot more. And then I think what changed me, and it could have gone both ways, when I was in a car accident where I almost died.
I remember that.
And then I think that to me changed my whole perception of perspective of what matters and how to approach my career. And also because when I was in a car accident, and I said, like, I always remember it, and if I look back at the time, the best moment for those 2 years that I was injured was I could wake up the one morning where I could, and it took me like a year and a half. It took me, it took a year and a half, or maybe a little bit more, or a little bit longer, where I could wake up the morning and I didn't have to phone my dad to help me go to the bathroom to brush my teeth. And I think like it puts it like in so much perspective where it's like something so small that you take for granted. And I think that to me was, even like work ethic and like training and stuff, I enjoyed a lot more after that happened. And like the first year when I came back, or after when I was injured, I was just so grateful to play again. And like the first year that I came back, I think I missed like the first 6 cuts because I was like not even playing well, but I was like in such a space where I was like so happy just to be back. I could see everyone, I saw everyone, I was like, it's good to be back. And then when I won, I didn't feel like I was going to win. So like for me, everyone speaks about you got to see it and you got to believe it. I saw nothing. I think what changed or what helped me was I was grateful to be out there and to compete. And like, because I was happy, I played better.
And it just naturally happened.
And it naturally happened. So I think we all get put in a bracket to say like you got to perform and you got to have goals and stuff. But you take away so much from the experience by being there. And like I know Arthur, regardless from Trueford, like we had so much fun on the golf course. Even those years when we played together, I think that was when I started playing, and I was just happy to be there. So, like just from a playing point of view, anything that you do and you enjoy it and you're happy to be out there, you're gonna do it better. So,
100%.
So it's hard to, I think when you start playing well, you're constantly working to get better, but you lose the
enjoyment.
The enjoyment. And that to me is like such a big factor. And I don't want to blow smoke up my own arse, but it's like when I played every sport that I played with, I was really good at it, but I enjoyed competing and playing. And like, you can look at Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Muhammad Ali, all the best sportsmen in the world, they always speak about the element of I enjoyed competing and I wanted to be the best. There's no one that's like, oh my word, I'm gonna win this week.
Unless you're Tiger.
Yeah, Tiger was obviously the.
Yeah. Where's the first tee and what's the
course record?
Yeah. So like you get like someone like him is obviously exceptional, and I think he was lucky that he grew up in a sense where it was like imprinted in his head that you're gonna be that guy.
I think he was just mentally so good.
Yeah.
I think that's why most sportsmen, Muhammad Ali, like you said, all those guys are just mentally so well prepared and taught from a young age where they, when they do come under pressure, where they do come where they have to hit the shot or make the right decision, 99% of the time they do make the right decision. That's kind of what it is. Like you said, I mean, most of the times guys think that you have to play your best golf to win, and it's not always like that.
Yeah.
It's not always like that. So, sorry, just to come back to your story.
But
there,
and then like for me, that to me changed my whole view on things, and just like if you do something that you love and you're present and you're there, you're gonna do better. And it's like, so I've had lots of the people that I've spoken to, and like I've coached and I've done a lot of coaching myself. It's like I think you take away so much from what you can learn, and like if there's one thing that I wish I could change, and I wish I knew it a bit earlier, was the willingness to learn. When I was
humbleness.
young.
100%.
But like the willing, like everyone, and with all respect now, it's like if you know everything, there's no space for improvement. So, and the majority of the guys, and you see it on lots of guys on tour, and it's probably the last thing I'll say, like we were standing outside and Arthur was helping, this one guy came and he spoke about, they possibly speaking about sponsoring this guy, and 110 different stories about what they're going to do and his idea of whatever. But it's like, that takes away from your own experience, speaking about someone else. It's like there's so much of, I'm doing this, I know this. It's like, is it going to help you? It's not going to help you at the end of the day. So for me personally, it's to go in my own journey and my own experience. And it's like, Jacques' golf swing is completely different from mine. And Arthur's swings are completely different. And it's like, I just think there's so much that's been taken away from golf where, and lots of guys that was excellent, that they actually, the process of improvement got in their way, but it was more in a sense where people were saying like, you got to change this. It's like, you've got your own experience. So just like that, to me, when Arthur was telling the guy, I was like, look, I don't mind if whoever comes in here now. But I can relate because it's, when you working, he's here in the studio, he's got to focus on what he needs to do. Him speaking about someone else, it's not going to make any difference. So that's like my story in a little nutshell. But
the other thing is people also battle to get out of their comfort zone as professionals, you know. They don't want to go into a space sometimes where they're not comfortable.
They're not comfortable in.
Which you don't learn at the end of the day.
Correct.
You know.
Correct.
So just to relate to what you were saying there, I think a lot of guys just want to stay in their bubble and their comfort zone and don't want to change because they think, okay, this is going to mess me up for 3 months, but what about the next 15 years?
Correct.
You know.
Correct.
But anyway.
No, but Jacques said something there about mental capacity, and you know, just before I switch over to him and just do an introduction as well. But Heinrich, so don't you think it's just like a phase? So think about when we were 20, 21, you know, call it up to 25, whatever that change in your mind came. How do you translate that humbleness at the moment to youngster players that come up? Because at their stage, in their mind, I know everything.
Yeah.
I've got it. I understand it.
The thing is, like, it's funny though, like you've seen lots of guys that, and it also depends on obviously your family and your support. So I know 110%, it's like, it's dependent on your environment of people that you spend time with.
Yeah.
So make an example.
Your grounding.
Look, I know Branden, we grew up together, and he,
Branden?
Grace.
Grace.
Yeah, Grace
I
me.
know, but for the other people.
For the viewers.
That
So
popular Stinger team.
Look, he was probably the best example for me where he never ever felt like he needed to change anything. Up until now, his swing looks exactly the same from when he was like 16. But like, he never got to a point where he felt like he needed to change. So he believed what he did was good enough. And sometimes you find people that definitely have it in what they have. If you just improve on that, it's fine. But I think depending on you personally, some people obviously their techniques are not good enough. People don't want to hear it, and it's like.
I want to touch on that as well. Sometimes, you know what, when I've been on tour for a while. He's been a little bit longer, but I've played everywhere as well. And it's like when a guy gets his tour card. I mean, I've played Corn Ferry, I've played European Tour, I've played Challenge Tour, all those things. You get your card, they buy the TrackMan.
Yes.
They all buy GC Quad.
Yeah.
Now they need to get the numbers right. They need to get this right. They change coaches. And it's some times where you try and explain to the youngsters, listen, you don't have to change anything. You are good enough. That's the reason why you got there.
Yes.
There's just a couple of things. You need to keep your stats. You need to see where you need to improve on, and that's where you need to get better.
Yeah.
Gracie is a good example. Gracie hits the ball so low. That's why he's always done well in windy conditions and at the Open, at the majors.
US Opens.
Yeah, exactly. But the stigma is out there when you get on the PGA Tour. You need to hit the ball sky high, and it shows you. Gracie is just one of those. I mean, yes, he's got phenomenal hands. I mean, he spins the ball from here to the camera. He can spin it backwards.
Arthur would argue he's got the same hands.
Yeah. But yet he sits here and Gracie plays on the stickers here. But I mean, it just shows you, like you said. I mean, he always believed that. I mean, when he won that SA Amateur at the Zalza, I mean, I remember it. I mean, I think I'm 5 or 6 years older than him, maybe even more. And he came out as a youngster and he just won the tournament. It was unbelievable. It was great golf, and just from there, he never looked back. And it just shows you what you've got. You don't always necessarily have to make it better. And just to come back on that point, it's just the youngsters out there now, like you try and explain to them, listen, what you've got, keep going with it. Maybe you need to get discipline better. Maybe you need to get work on your short game more. I mean, we can all hit the ball miles. I mean, some of them maybe not as much as some of us, but the short game, the putting, the chipping, I mean, that's where you make up your shots. I mean, that's what it is. And that's kind of what I want to put in there, is just get back to the youngsters and say, listen, it's just try and improve on some areas of your game where you feel that you need to improve, not everything. You don't have to always change a coach.
But sometimes people search for things that are not there. Like you were discussing, getting the TrackMan, GC Quad, Fly Scope, whatever, changing coaches. But they got there. Sometimes it's just keeping it simple.
Exactly.
And just riding the wave, sort of.
I've been in that same boat. No worry, I bought the TrackMan. I've got the flight scope now, and it's some of those things you get caught up in the numbers instead of playing golf. I would never.
Reference point.
Yeah, I would never forget. I went for a short game lesson in America. A guy called James Sickman. So he coaches a lot of the PGA pros, and there was a couple of shots where Bermuda grass where I wasn't used to, and I didn't know what to do on it. And he'll obviously teach me the shot, and he'll show me, and I hit a couple of shots. He says, "There you got it. Go be an athlete." That's what it is. Go be an athlete. You don't think about I mean, Steph Curry never think about, I need to hit it this hard, in that speed, that launch angle. If he hits a 3-point, he just throws it. That's what it is. Or a baseball, the pitcher, he doesn't think you need to, do an angle of the arm this way. Go be an athlete. That's what it is. That's just kind of what it is at the end of the day.
I played with, sorry that I interrupt. No, you're not. I've got to tell the story. I played with Mark McNulty once. So I was a big fan of him, obviously.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so look, he's a great golfer, and he was obviously playing seniors. But I was like, I've got to ask this guy for a tip of my golf swing, because I'm like, this is going to be it for this week.
This is going to take me all the way.
I played with Jaco Alles also. Yeah. So Jaco's hitting ropes down the middle. I'm like, I want to be like that guy. So anyways, I asked Mark, I was like, what can I work on? Because I feel like I want to get a bit better. So he gives me this tip, I'm going to turn my hips a little bit faster, whatever. I'll turn a bit better. Played in a tournament on the 13th on the Wild Coast. So I did this move, what he said. I hit that ball, I said, thanks Mark, thank you so much. Middle bush. But I'm just saying, like,
sometimes it doesn't work for you,
it's like you're constantly looking for the.
And
it was in a tournament.
I
said to God, I've never reloaded on a par 3 in a very long time.
And that green is big as well.
Yes, but we played it the other day. Actually, me and I played together there. Yes, that wind was pumping. I mean, we played it 150
I'm
yards.
Short and they're winning a
4-iron.
No. And they say, I'm short.
Okay,
into a zephyr. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Listen, it is unbelievable.
I think we'll see today the club differences to go for that hole.
You'll be surprised.
I
got a lesson from Ernie on Friday.
Just strap it.
But this man sitting next to me that's given us some beautiful, nice, wise words this morning is Jacques Blaauw, Sunshine Tour player, Uppington born, 75 top 10 finishes.
Sure.
278 tournaments. turned end of 2008 pro.
Yeah.
Beginning 2009 got your card.
Yes.
Vodacom winner 3 times. Affinity Club winner. Nedbank. And then also chairman of the Players Committee of the Sunshine Tour. European Tour, Corn Ferry Tour, Challenge Tour. Have I got it right?
Yeah, pretty much right, yeah.
Now, it leads me to a question. You said something, Heinrich, a bit earlier about you've got to be good at chipping, putting. Now, looking at 2 guys like you here, I'd like to get both of your takes on this. You look at your top 10 finishes that you both have achieved. So you just mentioned the Michael Jordan, the LeBron James. You know, those guys dominated. They didn't just come there, made a mark. They almost dominated to a point where if you played against them, you almost knew, you know, good luck. But there was a lot of people around them that also have the skills. You guys have got the individual skills. Why did you not mention mind as another pillar of chipping, putting? Because isn't it the mind that separates
I would say
everybody
like 70
at the
to
moment?
80%.
70 or 80%?
100%.
I mean, Bryson DeChambeau, sorry, John, before you start. When I looked at his post-round interview, after he did the 58, he shot the 58 the Sunday.
Yesterday, yeah.
And he was like, for whatever reason, something clicked that morning, and he says the confidence over the shot was completely different to the Saturday.
So it's a weird thing in golf. I think it's probably one of the most difficult sports, is because the ball is standing still, and you got time to think.
Yeah.
You got time to think.
So it's not in action. I never thought about
yeah.
that.
So if you take example, basketball, cricket, rugby, tennis,
Formula One,
you know,
whatever.
anything which is a reaction on the basis of what is coming towards you, or and that's a quick twitching thing, and you never think if you I mean, for us watching cricket quite a bit, if you get a ball where it's bowled, it's like it's pitched up, you forward cover drive, and you hit it off the splice, but it still goes for 4. You don't rehearse that same action again. So we hit a bad shot, you're always going, yes, you're thinking about, mechanics. That's the reason why I think golf is probably one of the most difficult difficult games in sport.
I've never had that perspective. That's a good one.
Then same as talking about the mind, is there was a basketball team. I don't know. I read about this, and it was the coach was saying that, well, they broke it up in teams. I think they did a study. Five guys, and these 5 need to go practice their 3 throws. These guys practice and think about it, and the other guys just thought about it, literally just mentally. And the guys who actually went and sat and thought about it, just literally visualize it through more free throws in the end of the week or whatever. Than the guys who actually practiced, and the guys who practiced and thought about it. So mentally, it's got a big part of it. We can all hit the ball 300, 320 meters or yards or whatever you want to call it.
Anybody can shoot the 65 on a good day.
100%. But it's going there in a final round where you're 5 shots behind or you're a 5-shot lead, and to go and finish that tournament off. That's where I think golf becomes so much more difficult. I mean, there's a Tiger Woods has won numerous times, 89 times or how many times, whatever it is. And most of his wins are almost from behind, because he almost felt like, listen, when the guys in the lead, they know I'm coming. You know, that I am going to beat them. He only had to pitch up with his C game, and he's going to win. And that's mentally. Mentally, his dad just prepared him, his mom prepared him so well, and I think that's where a lot of the top sportsmen, Muhammad Ali, one of the most, motivational person out there, that I think is the strongest mind out there. So it's a big thing in it, yeah.
Well, if you look at tennis as well, you can be serving and playing against your opponent, and you can have 3 double faults. You can still win your serve.
Yeah.
If you had 3 OB, you're gone. Tournament's gone.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it's a bit. You don't have a second chance in golf. You don't have a mulligan ball that you can just quickly pop down and go hit it. You know, so it's brutal. You don't have.
I just think also, like, the one thing, I think there's one topic that I think lots of people, obviously everyone speaks about confidence, and it is important. There's different things, but I think there's one thing that so many people miss. It's like competency.
Okay, explain to us.
So it's like the thing is like also like if you take a guy it's got an important tee shot, it's like, and I'll make an example of myself. If I'm coming down the stretch, I generally my driver is I can hit it long, but I can't always say it's going to be perfectly in the fairway. Now you get guys that know if they make a good swing, this is fairway. So, and now I'll make an example of Tiger Woods. He knew that his driver wasn't his best club in his bag. So he would go back to hitting a stinger. And he made it famous because it was a shot that he knew he could hit the
go-to.
But it's like the competency of that shot is a lot higher. So he knew he could hit this specific shot when he needed to. It wasn't because it was this famous shot. It was he knew he wasn't going to hit the fairway.
Yeah.
So I think like there's so much stuff, even in putting, it's like I practice my putting a lot and I feel like now my short game is like my strongest part. But like I would back myself 110% to get up and down the last hole to win the tournament. To hit the fairway, different story. But I'm saying like...
and it's weird because like, you've got this big space versus you've got to hit it there.
Yeah, but it's like lots of the times people don't want to... They don't fix the issue.
Problem.
But it's like now you're moving away from not improving on what you need to do. So like now I've got a 3-wood, got a beast in the bag now.
Yeah.
I can turn it over a bit easier and it's according to equipment and stuff. But it's like competency is like such a big thing that nobody speaks about. It's like some guys, they can't hit a 50 meters pitch shot, but they don't practice it. So like for me, it's like there's so much factors that you don't look at, like personally, that you need to improve on. It's like too many guys like go like, oh, come and hit my iron 7-9. 7-9 in the range, it's like you're not fixing anything.
No.
So like for me, it's just like that to me is like a massive thing for when it comes to like the mental part, because you can take anyone, if they're playing the last hole, you can say like, in any golfer you can ask yourself, where would I feel uncomfortable?
There would always be a shot.
There
always be a shot.
Bunker shot, whatever be. The crazy thing with golf, that shot that you fear the most, it's gonna
bite you.
It's gonna come. It's waiting for you. 60, 70, or 80. It's gonna come.
It will always come. It will always come.
So it's just like for me, like that, making sure that you know when you're in a situation, you can. And I always find like there's so much stuff for you. Everyone says like, be a man, you driver. I did it once, like be a man on the last, hit the tower door, middle dam. So it's like, and again, like Tiger made it awesome for me. Personally.
I think coming back to that, where you say I'll be a man, hit the driver. I think for us, it's you playing professional golf. You're playing for bread on the table. You know, you're playing for tour trophies. You're playing for money. And I think coming back to that is also you need to kind of know where your miss is. You kind of need to know, listen, okay, well, my driver stats is this. I'm not saying it's just about stats, but you're saying that you'd have to know which shot you can hit under pressure the best. And execute it the best. And that's where you need to come back to and play that better golf. Because, I mean, I don't care if I'm playing with somebody that's telling me, listen, I can't hit the ball 400. I don't care, or 350. I don't care. But, you know, give me a 9-iron, give me an 8-iron, give me a sandwich. I promise you I can probably hit it closer than you.
Yeah, which is 60% of your shots anyway.
Exactly, or give me a putt on the green and I'm sure I can putt it. I can make the putt. So it is, so sometimes it comes back to your strengths as well. By that, and also you need to practice the shots that you don't, you know, that 50-yard shot, you know, where a lot of guys feel that, well, I mean, we play with amateurs a lot, over water, and you just know this guy ain't gonna do it.
Lays up to 50.
You just know. I mean, it's written all over it. You know, he's laid it up there because firstly he laid it up with the wrong club, and then hit it in the teeth, and he gummed it there down there, and now he's in that awkward shot distance that you know, and then he goes up and he drops it literally right there by the ball. He's gonna hit the same shot again, and choose Bob. The next shot he hits it like this.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't think about it. He doesn't think about it. It's like, well, listen, I just hit a bad shot anyway, so let's get it over and done with. We've all done that.
Yes.
Like, hit it out of the bounds, drive next hole down the fairway, next shot down the fairway.
Stripe down the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Without even hesitation.
100%, not even thinking about it. So it's a funny game, this. It's just a funny game.
Listen, the two of you are so straightforward, very to the point, and maybe that comes with a bit of experience in life as well. But Heinrich, a while back, he said to me and Arthur, we need to diversify our show a little bit. Too many whiteys.
You gotta get it.
But Heinrich, the players we just mentioned there, you know, if you look at the Michael Jordans and the Steph Currys, and you've got the Muhammad Alis and the Tiger Woodses, you know, I mean, if you talk about mental capacity, of course, we all know Tiger's got an incredible discipline, incredible mind, but his mind is the separator. There's no doubt about that, because if if we just go back to a lot of those, and that's why I want to see if there's some sort of trend in it, because if you look at how he was treated as well, Tiger Woods, you know, couldn't come into the clubhouse initially. You know, that's the famous day he put his shoes on in the parking lot and said to them, what's the course record and where's the first tee? We all joke about that because it's such a cool saying, but the reason behind that is they didn't allow him into the club.
Yes.
That was the reason he had to go and put his shoes on to wake up from that. You know, to go into a sport that you love, that you got trained in your whole life, your dad put so much passion into, and then get rejected, effectively. But then to still go and do what he did. You know, and if you look at the players we just mentioned there, do you think, Heinrich, for yourself, I mean, is that ever something, you know, does it come to play? Do you feel like, do you sometimes look at other guys and saying, you had such a much more privileged life, or you had so much easier start? Do you guys speak about this? Is this something that you think about, or is it something that you feel, tell me where you are with that.
I think it's a packed question, but it's I'll make an example. I went to go practice at one time at the driving range, and they said to me I couldn't practice. So I'm not gonna mention where it was. So obviously, I've gone through a phase where I could feel like I wasn't welcome. So unfortunately, I'm probably one of the few people there that has gone through something like that, and it's obviously not nice speaking about the way you feel like you were treated a certain way because of how you look. Look, it's obviously. It's not a comfortable topic, I would say, but I think with that, it's you can obviously speak so much about it, but I would just say, like, with that, and it took me a while, like, learning, obviously, personally, my own journey or whatever. It's like, obviously, I play golf for a living, and if I do it well, people will respect you, or they'll respect me for it.
100%.
So I don't like personally the idea of being soft on someone because they have a certain background or they grow up in a certain way, because with all respect, everyone has their own struggle. So I can't say because I went through something specific, it's more important than the way you feel about something. So I just think, look, there's so much different stuff, and we live in a country where there's obviously so many different individuals. But I just personally have a problem when you make your problem more important than mine. So I don't believe in a sense where it's like, because I'm this way, I should get any different or better treatment. So I think that, but I had to learn that on my own, and I definitely, I felt like I was a victim at times, 110%. And it's like when I was younger, I wasn't mentally prepared, because like obviously mentally I had to progress and learn a lot more on my own. So I never had somebody that would guide me. But I think the most important lesson I had was with Roger Wessels, and he's at Kanaku.
I know exactly, the Roger Wessels, which was in 2012.
Yeah. So I was going to stop playing. I was literally done with playing golf. And we had a lesson one day, and I was hitting balls, and I was striping it, and he said to me, "Can we just sit down here? Like, just look at the mountains." And he said to me, "Look, I know you've struggled to get back to play, but," he said to me, "Look how nice it looks outside here. I think you're missing something important here." And he said to me, "Do you feel like you belong on the tour?" And with all respect, and like to myself also, it's like, never thought I was going to do it for a living, but it's like something that grew on me. So I always say, like, mentally it is important obviously to practice on that, but like the ability to grow on a belief or your self-image on what you want to achieve, it's a possibility. So I never believed in myself that I could win, 110%, I can say with all honesty, but it grew on me, and I had people around me that made me feel better. So I always, like I said, like when I had the discussion with him, he believed in me and he helped me in that sense. It's like, look, well, you've got everything that you need. So that's why I say, like, people take it really for granted, like your environment, the people that's around you. And not enough people would say it, but on tour, you get people that speak so much
Yeah.
with all respect. It's
Like
like,
what type of what do you mean?
but it's like the guy would speak about, I hit it left on the last one.
Yeah.
It's always a negative
It's
stuff.
always like
You
the bad
don't,
thing.
you're not gonna say, well, I just made a 90-foot putt on the
Yeah,
on the first
100%,
hole.
yeah,
To make
Always
the
gonna
cut.
say,
Yeah,
I just
100%,
missed,
yeah.
I just missed a
I
two-footer.
just missed it
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
So that's unfortunately what it is.
Yeah, and it's like
exactly.
we're in an environment constantly where it's like, and I know there's so much stuff that's said about me that I agree with it, 100%, but your environment and the people that surround you, they got to be the ones that like, listen here, you got to do it.
Yeah.
And like Taylor, my girlfriend, she's been awesome. She's like helping me. She's also psychometrist and she's done her own studies and like worked with lots of people with addictive personalities and stuff. So I've learned a lot from her also, but it's just, for me, in that sense, it's like, if you don't have it, you can learn it. And it's just, and you don't have to have this perfect idea of, like, I had to, as much as people would say, like, you gotta grow up and you be Tiger Woods, not everybody can be Tiger Woods.
Of course.
So,
Yeah, because it's almost a little bit bigger than Tiger. It was almost like his family was destined to make that mark in golf. And I don't know if I'm putting it in the right context. He happened to be the guy on the field making the achievements, but it felt like the family had a vision.
100%.
To not just for him to lift the PGA Tour or Masters jacket, but to change the game of golf.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's if I read his books, and that's to me the role that family has played in the game of golf, you know.
But I think that, like, I think something important, I can use Jacques for an example. It's
A
like,
what?
I can use Jacques
Yeah.
for example. So we played a lot of junior golf together. And the thing is, like, I think lots of people take away the idea of that you play and you're just going to get better.
Yeah,
Jacques, when he started playing, he hit the biggest draw I've ever seen.
yeah.
We were hitting Captain
Yeah.
Hooks, the whole
Yes,
time.
big time.
All of us.
Yeah. But that was the old school of teaching, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
yes.
You
We were-
come from the inside,
Yeah,
flip it, flip it.
Flip
That's
it.
Turn the steering wheel, boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Get it going.
We were all, but I'm saying, like Jacques personally took it out. He can hit left to right shot, little cut, straight ball, little draw. But like people take away the fact that he got better.
Yeah.
And it's like my biggest thing is like, and like I said, like if I knew this when I was younger, I would have been in a different position now. It's like you have the ability to grow and learn.
Yeah.
And it's like I know from my experience, and like Jacques' a perfect example. I promise you, if there's a tree on the right, I'm like, this thing's gonna get closer to that tree. But it's like now you can hit left to right.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
You're hitting it. I played with you 2 weeks ago. You can hit the ball both ways. You can hit the ball both ways.
Yeah, but like I learned,
I
I,
got
can
you.
hit it both
Yeah,
ways now.
yeah.
So like
That is the
getting-
biggest thing with professional golfing anyway.
You gotta get better.
You're going to have to get better.
And you got to have that shot in your bag.
But it's not always. It's getting better. There's 2 ways about it. It's practice.
Yeah.
Practice on the right things, and then there's go seeing somebody, and it's not always going seeing somebody that is the right way forward.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, your coach that got you there, you guys can sit down and say, listen, well, you need to evolve as well. Get me to that next level. I mean, there's guys on the PGA Tour that still keeps with their own this small town coaches, and they perform on the PGA Tour.
Some of them don't even have coaches.
Some of them, I mean, Bubba Watson is a good example.
Bubba
I mean,
Watson's a
you
good
know, there's a
example.
lot of
Adam
guys.
Scott.
Yeah, so it's not always going to change for the better. Like, I mean, something off the topic here, but our country currently, there's so many people moving out of our country, and they always think it's better on the other side, but it's not always.
100%.
You know, it's not always. Grass is not always greener on the other side. So it's just putting things in, like you said, in perspective as well, and kind of take maybe sometimes a step backwards to take 2 steps forward. And I caught myself in that quite a bit, where you raised a topic earlier where I'm a bit technical, and in some sense I am, but some sense it's like it got in my way as well, where you think that you need to have the best swing. You always need to think when you play a tournament, you need to hit the TV shot.
Yeah.
And it's not always like that.
Yeah.
You know what? Who
Who cares?
cares if you hit
Yeah.
if you duff it there? I mean, I played with Keegan Thomas 2 weeks ago. Keegan is a good golfer. I mean, he was just so super lucky that day. I mean, the par 4, what was it, the 5th hole on at Wild Coast. He was just too short to get over the mound, and he hit his ball straight into the mound with a 5-iron. It had topspin, rolled through the bunker, and ended up like this. Made birdie. You know what? It's like, and
The birdie will be remembered.
exactly. Nobody. Well, he didn't.
You didn't.
We didn't see that because we were a little bit further down the mount, over the mount. But he walked down there. He says, "Listen, you would never know what had just happened." He says, "I just hit the mount in front of me," and it was like, how lucky is that? But golf is such a cruel sport.
Yeah.
We all need luck in this game, and so such is life as well.
But something that you and Heinrich there now said, you know, it's something that Arthur and I've spoken about before. And to this day I'm affected by it. You know, I've learned to deal with it better, but outside influence of people. Why we give a shit about what people tell, you know, those that don't love you, that don't care for you, that don't contribute towards your life, we still allow them to judge us, and then we feel affected by it. I mean, outside influence on you guys must also be tremendous, because on the one side, the Sunshine Tour, and I want to get into that before we switch off, because the Sunshine Tour has developed so heavily, and it's not just the Sunshine Tour, it's the development around it, the prize money, and you can give us nice insight into all of that. But is it still something that you guys, when you rock up, you know, you speak a certain way, you have to greet a certain way, is that still part of your persona, or you're at a stage where, listen, I'm a good guy, everybody else?
I think social media changed that big time. Because social media gives that trend of we living the dream.
Yeah.
I mean, when I traveled overseas, it's like nobody sees that that we miss a flight or a flight is delayed.
In the laundromat doing your
doing your
own,
laundry,
washing your underpants in the, what do you call it?
In Sweden,
you brush your teeth basin.
Disgusting, guys.
In Sweden, we just came out of COVID, and I finished well here, and I got my chance to get over to the Challenge Tour, and we traveled first week out. We traveled to Sweden, and because we come from here, everybody we couldn't share. We couldn't share a room, so we all had our own room. I kid you not, this room is the size of this towards this door.
Yeah.
Bed there. There's a TV, like a desk, and a TV up. There was no cupboard, and just a toilet this side. So now you need to do your laundry. You can't be outside. You do your laundry and hang your stuff. There's no place to hang.
Yeah.
Hang your stuff over your bed, over the chair, over this, and literally I can just turn around like this. There's no space to move, and I have to stay there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
we
people
probably
are
thinking, oh my word, look at the place.
I'm staying in a 5-star hotel. Firstly, I can't afford a 5-star hotel. Secondly, I need to rent a car and all that stuff, you know. So people are thinking, and that's where I think social media of the bigger tours are giving the people the perception of we are living the dream. Yeah. And it's hard work. I mean, it's hard work. We're out here for 8-9 hours a day practicing. I mean, in the sun. That's why we got a cap. Like cameraman said earlier, and exactly, and it's tough, you know, it's tough, and then you felt your prep work is done unbelievably well, and then you get to a tournament, and the courtesy driver says, "Listen, I saw you miss a putt last week because you're putting better this week," and then all of a sudden you're thinking, "Yeah, I just worked my arse off this week on my putting, on my short game, and now you're bringing up that," and that's where outside influence come in, and that's where mental stuff comes in, and all that stuff to make you stronger. I mean, Heine on the side as well. I mean, we all practice hard. We work. I mean, behind the scenes, people don't know what we're doing. Yeah. Maybe it's a good thing, but we're putting in the hard work, because otherwise, I mean, I've got a family. I've got a wife and 2 kids, and I need to put food on the table. Got a house to pay. I've got a car to pay. All those things, you know. Yeah. So it's difficult. We've got all the same stuff as a normal person has, and in fact we've actually got more stress because we've got no guaranteed money coming in unless you got a sponsor. So for us it's like you might go a stretch. I mean, now we had a 6-week break, no income, and then you get back, you get 2 weeks tournament. First tournament I missed a cut, so it's a 7-week. I didn't get a paycheck. Last week, okay, I made the cut. Now we got another break. So now I'm 9 weeks with 1 paycheck, you know, and it's not like you're earning millions, you know. I'm not playing live golf, so it's difficult. It's hard. I mean, Arthur knows all about the struggles. Hence him starting this business, you know.
Don't you want to just pay for the food?
Thank you.
Lunch is on us.
You just opened up your heart and you just slapped him.
So it's difficult. It's hard work, you know. But by saying that as well, yeah, I love it. It's like, I mean, I'm 37 years old. I think I could probably still do it for another 12 to 13 years. I mean, Bernhard Langer has been showing us that you can. If you look after yourself and you do the right stuff, you can still do it until you're 59 or something, you know. And but yeah, I mean, I just love it. I mean, my wife says I'm golf, but that's who I am.
Yeah.
That's who I am. She married me. Well, we started dating after I played golf. You know, I've been playing golf, and I mean, and then she knew that. It's difficult now because we've got kids. I mean, I've got stuff to do behind the scenes and after practice, but I love it. It's so good, so good. I mean, you know,
for me now,
it's so lekker when you play well.
Yeah, it's funny. Like it's weird. Like I thought also when I get older, I'm gonna probably say like, you know, I'm used to doing it.
Yeah.
But like for me, I feel like I enjoy it more now.
Yeah.
The longer I've played, which is crazy.
Yeah, but that comes with age a bit, huh? We appreciate what we have.
100%, and that's like by learning as well. I mean, you like you say, we appreciate stuff, and it's got a stigma of professionals where I have to get everything for free. You know, you rock up the new kids, youngsters come out here and they expect everything for free. You know, and it's like, I mean, you know, everybody wants a deal here. You know, everybody wants this here, and it's like, put the hard work in, and it will start paying off.
Yeah.
Don't just start by saying, listen, I've just been this amateur, this and that, and I've won this. Now everything needs to be given to me, and it's not like that. I've been very privileged. I've always had a club sponsor. I'm honestly very, very privileged. And something that people don't take for granted is a clothing sponsor. It's a clothing sponsor.
That's so much, yeah.
That is huge for a player, and it's like, I mean, Puma has been grateful for me. I mean, it's been 9 years now that I've been with them, and they are, for me, the best brand to be associated with. And it's like, I get 2 to 3 drops a year. You know, I get 20 pairs of longs. I get probably 25 pairs of shirts and all that stuff. I don't have to go pay for that. But then you get a general person or a golfer just started out and they have to pay for those things. Yeah. You're already struggling to make money, now you have to pay for that as well. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just the extra struggle in life and as a professional golfer. But like I said, I mean, I love it. I mean, he knows that we've been part of the journey. I mean, we see each other every week, and it's like, yes, I've been traveling and he's been here. He's traveled when I was here and all that stuff. But it's so cool. It's so lekker. And when you play well, it's so rewarding. Very, very rewarding. That's what's cool about it.
Shout out to Puma and Kubla, because you also with Rhode Island, Swixion
Clubs, I'm lucky.
Swixion Club, and then Craig International, which I see is in a Houston-based company in America. Scotland. Okay, maybe offices there as well.
Yeah. So they're a procurement company.
Yes.
And it happened by accident. But I was like, in that time, I was like just getting back to playing. And then I think Hannes van Niekerk, the CEO from the Ernie Foundation, said like, look, there's somebody that's possibly willing to sponsor someone. So, you know, anyways, that time I was like kind of desperate because I was like,
need some extra money.
I need some cash, eh? Because it's tough out here.
There's a bag of Bolton on that.
They said they bring in Paarl Valley, and I took a bus from George to go meet these people. And I jumped on the bus, golf clubs. I was lucky because Sexton was really good. Rian was actually still with Sexton, and Spanish was actually, he's always been there also like equipment wise. But he's been a massive help, even like now and then when I call him. But like Sexton's been like, they've been part of the journey from the beginning. And it's awesome to be part of a brand that actually they've grown so much. Like, so, but yeah, then I went down to Cape Town with on the bus. And the funny thing is, like, obviously I was like, yeah, I gotta play well this week. And I was so nervous. And like the thing is, like, people don't understand, like for professionals, when you're playing in a poem, for example, look, it always depends, like now I don't care as much. But like in that time, you want to impress the people you're playing with.
Opportunity, maybe an opportunity.
So you've got to play well. You just feel the fingers are tight all of a sudden on the first tee shot. But it's like, it's important. So I was lucky that through that I got a deal with Craig International. And Stephen Craig, he's been awesome, and he's been part of the journey now for 10 years.
Yeah, sure.
So
well done.
That has been, I'm very, very grateful. And also like what is cool is like, and I always find like if you find people that is willing to support you, in a sense more than where it is they expect you to do something. I think that is like, you can't get better. And it's like for me, I must say like highly on my list of important things for a sportsman is to have the right group of people around you.
Team,
Yeah.
right team, right team,
Exactly.
yeah. And also the guys that you travel with as well.
100%.
That is
Yeah.
actually quite a huge thing.
That
I
is
mean,
also massive.
where you were talking earlier about being people being negative around you.
If you're listening to the guys, bad rounds, everything, and I'm hitting it
Everything.
left, then you go stand on that hole and you just see left all day.
100%.
You didn't even know it was there before the conversation.
Exactly, and it always happens. And you know what? When I played in Europe, Darren Fichart and Natasha, his wife, she travels with him obviously, and she as an outsider in a group of golfers speaking, she said, "Listen, I'm only hearing negative thoughts here."
Sure.
So if, like you said, if you now you didn't notice there was a hazard on the 17th left. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, at whichever hole or golf course, and all of a sudden you get on the tee box the next day, you're thinking, oh my gosh, don't hit it there because he just hit it there yesterday, you know, and it's stuff like that. And then she said to them, listen, guys, only positive from now on. You're only telling them good things. You're only telling positive vibes and all that stuff. And obviously, I mean, you need that because if you get negative people around you the whole time, it's just not good for yourself. Not good for yourself.
That's why I use a long putter now. I was such a good putter. Such a good putter. And I played the white. I think it was World Champs. And I putted. Vaughan said like, yeah, got to work on a bit of your technique, Vaughan Tucker. But he also helped me quite a bit, I must say. And then I thought in that moment, I felt like something was wrong.
Oh, yeah,
There was
you
nothing
see,
wrong.
You see. Yeah.
Nothing was wrong. I'm like, maybe I need to work. Worked on a few stuff, but just in a simple sense. You can have people around you that's going to build you up.
Yeah.
And they're going to make it better. And it's like, and again, there's so much said with like the mental part of the game, but it's like also the whole process of it, which I think is important. Because like, you'll be surprised how the people that are like you surround yourself with, they have a massive role, unfortunately, in where you're going to end up. So I just think like me and Derek Peterson, this is the last thing I'm going to say, that me and Derek, we had some fun times on tour. But the problem is, when we've made the cut, we celebrated like we won. But I was saying, like, we have a good week, but you don't go parties.
Yeah.
Told the boys, we're going to get a new outfit tonight. We're going to show the ladies what we're doing tonight. But it's like, you know.
Still need to play golf tomorrow. Still need to earn a paycheck.
Next week.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, in that time, look, it was great. But unfortunately, it didn't help.
Yes.
But that's how you obviously progress. But like the celebrations
Yes.
after making the cut, it's not the
But you
best,
still
eh?
see the youngsters still doing that. I mean,
100%.
we were
And we love it.
Yeah.
We love to see it from you guys.
2 weeks ago in Wild Coast. Okay, I had the family down there because we made a holiday of it because it was still school holiday the week before, and some youngsters, obviously not going to say names, but they were missing the cut, same as myself, and they would say, what's it? Umslanga seeing me tonight. Straight to Umslanga.
That's like a 2-hour drive.
2-hour drive. You're spending money to go there. You're going to have some pots, and you're not going to feel good tomorrow. And you're going to practice. We're playing Swaziland
Probably
next
the
week.
pre-drinks at Hooters.
That's probably what
And
it
not
is.
all of us are what Joe Damien.
No.
Where he takes the two white,
Joel Dale.
Joe Dale, man.
on the golf swing.
US Open qualifier.
Two golfs before his next round.
But he's also the. I mean, with the whole Netflix show, I think so many guys started having respect for him in a different way.
That Netflix, I mean, I'm so glad that Netflix, and I won't hop onto it, but that Netflix has changed even how we see the PGA Tour and the PGA players and golfers in general. And we find that the show does a very similar job, and not obviously to that scale. But when they speak to you guys and they hear that, you know, you just want to go and have a bit of a jaw and celebrate, and Heinrich, you're so honest. You know, for any of your supporters and sponsors around you, you're such an honest guy, dude. You said the same thing about your first win, the origins of Vodacom win. He says in one of his interviews, I enjoyed that win for way too long.
You wrote that way.
Yeah. Way too long.
Like, yo.
Am I right in saying that?
I've got 2 years exemption.
Yeah, exactly. I've
But
got
back
exemption.
then, that money wasn't as good as it is now.
Yeah.
You know, it could have gone a little bit further.
600 grand, I think, he won at that stage.
It was
No.
90,000.
Oh, 90,000.
The tournament purse was
Yeah.
was 600.
First was 600.
Was 600, and you win like
Yeah,
90
like
something.
there, I went to George And I just miss calls. Heini, what are you doing tonight? I'm like, don't worry, I'm there. So and it's like you go through a phase, but like even now, like I know at least what's.
But it's all life lessons.
Yeah, it's life
It's all
lessons.
life
Exactly.
lessons. And you've got to experience it.
You got it.
But even now, like I always say, like I'm happy I did it earlier.
Yeah.
Because imagine I didn't celebrate it.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
got
yeah,
to a
yeah,
space
yeah,
now
yeah,
where
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like these
yeah,
guys that's still doing it now.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, you know what, we like I said earlier, we work so hard. You know what, when you win, or when you do well, even if you finish second, I mean, it's a good week, isn't it? Maybe, obviously you want to win, but even if you win, if you get second, some folks don't even make that much money in a year.
Yeah.
Now, some they get 1 week. Go and celebrate it.
Yeah.
Go and have fun. I mean, why not?
yeah.
But just remember, next week is back to business. Back to business, and it's just people are falling into that where they're gonna keep on enjoying themselves, too long, and that's where the next moment, you're 40 years old, you have to go find a job.
Yeah.
That's difficult. That's difficult where it is. But I mean, good fun. Good fun. You still need to. You're human.
Yeah,
you're
you're still human. Well, I've had a lot of fun. And I also want to just say, yes, we've got 2 for 1 special here this morning. Call it the Mr. D special. It's also a little bit quick. There's so many questions. I mean, I know we've run out of it, but I've wanted to know quite a few things about you guys more. But this is a commitment to everybody that's watching that we will have you guys on individually. So you can tell us a little bit more about your story. Because we learn a lot from this. And it's exciting for us to watch. And, from both Arthur and I, I'm very excited, to kick Heinrich and Arthur's ass after
There we
this.
go.
100%.
Hole-in-one challenge.
Go and do it.
Yeah, I'm going to show them the Bally's has got some swing left in them. And if I say Bally, I refer to myself. I'm 41.
He's almost
I'm not that far behind you.
He's almost on the seniors tour. He just spoke about the seniors tour.
Okay, Jacques, that doesn't give us firepower.
Exactly.
That doesn't give us firepower. But Heinrich, to both you and Jacques, we are so grateful that you guys took the time to do it. And just from a personal point, I'm inspired by both of you. Heinrich, my interaction with you recently, the way that you are, the way that you called me afterwards, just the way that you spoke to me, you've made this so accessible. And we thank you also for what you do for the game of golf and for the draw cards that you give, the effort that you put in with other players. Because I know, Heinrich, and I wanted to go into that a little bit more in detail today, but the role you play in golf is just incredible.
Thank you.
And Jacques, we also find you incredibly inspirational. And it is, a lot of the guys on the tour look up to you. They always ask you for advice.
I do, yeah.
And thank you for the role that you also play for all of us. And thank you for making the Sunshine Tour very exciting. And thank you to the Sunshine Tour for what they've done this year and for where it's going at the moment. And I really hope you guys pull a couple of wins out of the bag for the rest of this year.
I'm going to try our best. That's definitely for
Well,
sure.
We'll start off with the hole-in-one.
We're going to be in a play together.
There we go.
That'll be awesome. Then we're going to celebrate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Please learn lessons, Heinrich, from the past. Don't do a 6-month binger. Or something like that.
Hey, we start on
Celebrate
Wednesday.
the
We start next week Wednesday again.
But the brandy's cheap down there.
But I just want to, on the last word, and I always end on this in a personal note, the sponsors that are behind you guys.
Yeah.
I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart. I know that you guys do it a lot, but we see the reality of the costs. We understand the cost involved with all of this. And just like anything, with a job, it's normally you start off with and they sort of grow you, but with golf, you get judged by day one. If you're a tour player and you get your card, well, you get judged at day one. There's no, like in, what do you call it, the 3-month probation period in work and in a job, and you're going to get guided, and when they're going to pull you in with golf, it's spot on from day one.
Exactly.
And all pressure on. So thank you for the role that you play and all the sponsors that stand behind you and others.
Exactly,
you.
100%. Thank you very much for having us. We appreciate it. It was
What a
really
pleasure.
good. It was
Arthur,
really
thanks
fun.
for your studio.
Yeah, no, I said a lot today.
But it was another great performance by Arthur.
But I'm going to perform on the hole-in-one challenge.